Òṣùpá TV.
Good afternoon. Here is the midday news on Òṣùpá TV. I am Wale Oloyede. First, the headlines. Governor hails Tinubu as soldiers withdraw from Okwama. TUC threatens nationwide shutdown over security levy. In business, NBC trains 1,327 young entrepreneurs. On the foreign scene, Kenyan doctors end 56-day strike. And in sports, Boniface Stella on path of history with Bayern Leverkusen. Now the news in details. The Delta State Governor, Sheriff Orevori, while confirming the troops withdrawal from the Okwama community, lauded President Bola Tinubu and the military high command for their interventions. Orevori, at a media briefing, said that with the withdrawal of the troops, the people of Okwama could now safely return to their homes and begin the process of rebuilding their community. The community had been under military siege since March 14, 2024, following the killing of 17 army officers and soldiers who were on the peacekeeping mission to quell the communal crisis between the people of Okwama and their neighbors in Okoloba, Bomadi local government area. Angered by their colleagues' killing, the soldiers had invaded Okwama and set houses ablaze while hunting the killers, which made the villagers to flee to homes to seek refuge in bushes and neighboring communities. The Trade Union Congress TUC has threatened a massive protest that will shut down the Nigerian economy should the federal government fail to cancel the controversial cybersecurity levy recently introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria. The TUC, in a statement signed by its president Festus Osifo on Wednesday, slammed the directive by the CBN to banks imposing a 0.5% cybersecurity levy on almost all electronic transactions. This is after the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC had heavily criticized the levy, which it described as another burden on Nigerians. The TUC stressed that it is illogical that this is coming at a time that Nigerians are grappling with the high cost of living that is imposed by the devaluation of Naira, hyper hike in the cost of petrol, supersonic increments in the cost of electricity tariff, among others. The union said that it is disturbed that since the inception of the President Bola Tinubu-led administration, government policies have brought pain, anguish, and sorrow to Nigerians, saying that all Nigerians are interested right now is the urgent conclusion of discussion around the minimum wage and not a vexatious policy. However, the TUC urged the federal government to immediately direct the CBN to withdraw the circular to banks and cancel the levy forthwith. The Niger State Governor Mohammed Bago on Wednesday has disclosed plans by his administration to construct 100,000 houses for the resettling of persons living in communities ravaged by floods and insecurity. The governor stressed that he was collaborating with the federal government to achieve the plan. He spoke while fielding questions from newsmen on Wednesday during the distribution of the federal government's food commodities to the poor. Recall that members of hundreds of persons have fled their communities in the last few weeks over insecurity in the state. Meanwhile, the Director General of the National Emergency Management Agency, Zubaida Umar, said that the foodstuff supply in Niger State were part of the 42,000 metric tons of assorted grains released from the National Strategic Reserve. He noted that it was in fulfillment of the promise made by President Bola Tinubu to cushion the effect of economic hardship on Nigerians. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Yusuf Maitama University, Kano, has raised the alarm over a looming crisis with the Kano State government, as the union accused the government of neglecting its demands. A statement jointly signed by the branch chairman and the secretary, Comrade Mansour Sahid and Comrade Yusuf Ahmed Gwazo, respectively, on Wednesday, stressed that three pivotal issues bothering its members were enhancing conditions of service, boosting and hastening the university's growth through sustainable funding, and strengthening and protecting university autonomy and academic freedom. However, the union expressed that they were constrained to bring the issues to the public after several efforts to make the state government attend to their failed demands. You're still watching the midday news on Ogoshopa TV. Stay to come, business, foreign, and sports stories. In business, Nigerian Bottling Company Limited has trained 1,327 young Nigerians in employability and entrepreneurial skills at its Youth Empowered program in the Federal Capital Territory. According to a statement, the training, which was held recently at the Sentosa Parks and Garden, Apo Legislative Quarters, Abuja, featured over 1,300 participants who were engaged through a series of dynamic workshops, engaging discussions and hands-on activities to equip them with the skills and knowledge required to navigate today's competitive job market. The firm stated that the program had a strategic focus on seizing the opportunities within the modern business landscape. Also, the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Tinubu on Community Engagement, Abiodun Esiet, remarked that the overwhelming response and enthusiasm from participants reaffirmed the importance of investing in youth development initiatives. On the foreign scene, Kenyan doctors have ended their strike, which had crippled the country's public healthcare system for 56 days after reaching an agreement with the government. Recall that the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union, KMPDU, which represents about 7,000 members, went on strike on March 15th. However, despite the deal to end the strike, the government and the doctors' union failed to reach an agreement on the deployment and payment of intern doctors, who form the backbone of the public healthcare system. The union demanded the intern doctors to be paid about $1,500 a month, but the government noted that it can only afford to pay them $500. The matter will now be determined by a court, which means the intern doctors will remain out of work for the next 60 days. Finally, in the exciting world of sport, Nigeria duo Victor Boniface and Nathan Tella are on the verge of history with newly crowned Bundesliga champions Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen will face AS Roma in the second leg of the Europa League semi-final tie at the Bay Arena today. Meanwhile, Xabi Alonso's side extended their unbeaten run to 48 games across all competitions following last Sunday's 5-1 victory over Eintracht Frankfurt. The victory saw Die Werkwoord equal Benfica's long-standing European record set between December 1963 and February 1965. A win against AS Roma will see them set a new record for the longest unbeaten streak by an European club. Leverkusen are looking to win the Europa League crown for the second time in history after their success in the 1987-1988 season. To end the midday news, another look at the major headlines. In the news, we brought to you that Governor Ace Tinubu and soldiers withdraw from Okwama. TUC threatens nationwide shutdown over cybersecurity levy. In business, you heard that NBC trains 1,327 young entrepreneurs. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that Kenyan doctors end 56-day strike. And in sports, you heard that Boniface Tella on path of history with Bayer Leverkusen. That was the end of midday news on Ogoshopa TV. The news was put together by Usman Akorede-Adelu and it was edited by Usman Akorede-Adelu. I am Wale Oloyede. Thanks so much for watching and do have a blessed Thursday. Good afternoon.